There it is. Look at that. What's up, guys? Today we have one of my personal favorite recipes for you, and I know a lot of you out there love this recipe too. It's really like a love-hate. You're either a coconut cream pie person or you're not. So this recipe is completely nut-free. There's 3 parts to it. You got the crust, you got the filling, and then you got the topping. We're gonna work on the crust right now, and we're using an 8-inch springform pan. I just like it, it's easier. But you can also use a pie pan too, that'll work fine. So right here we got 6 tablespoons of coconut flour. We're gonna make the coconut flour crust here. And we have powdered erythritol here. We're gonna use 2 tablespoons. If you have granular erythritol, just pulse it in a coffee grinder and it'll be powdered. Just give that a real quick mix, get it combined. And if you guys wanna make other kinds of pies, this is a great coconut flour crust. We've got 4 tablespoons of butter here. We're gonna melt it in the microwave before adding it to the other ingredients. And the oven is preheating to 350 degrees. We're gonna add the butter to the coconut flour mixture here. And then just kind of incorporate that. Then when we add the egg, the butter will already be cooled off so it won't burn the egg. Now just add the egg. Just mix this, it'll come together. I like to get in there with my hands a little bit. Form it into a ball. It's a little crumbly, but if you force it together, it stays together. So now we're just gonna transfer it to this springform pan. Then you just kind of wanna press it out into the pan. And this is a really nice flaky crust. Okay, Megan just gave me this tip. You can use a measuring cup, kind of press it out to get it flat. Okay, here's what we're gonna do, guys. We have the crust here. We're gonna set it on there on a baking sheet with a Silpat underneath. If you don't have one of these, you should probably pick one up, but you can also just use parchment paper. Then we're gonna use a fork to poke holes in the crust to prevent it from inflating and cracking. Old baker's secrets. Now, while the crust is baking, we are also gonna throw in some unsweetened flaked coconut. If you don't have the big flakes, you can use the finer flakes. Use whatever you like. But we're gonna toast this for about 5 minutes while the crust is in there. The crust will be in for 15. Just kind of spread them out. Now let's pop this in the oven for 5 minutes, then we're gonna remove the flakes, and then the crust is gonna go in for 10 additional minutes. Okay, 5 minutes at 350 for the flakes is the exact perfect time. You see that? Nice and toasty, but not burning. If you go like 1 minute past this, it will burn, like pretty quickly. So we're just gonna set these aside. Got a little bowl here. Okay, crust, you can see, just starting to get baked a little bit. It's gonna go back in for 10 more minutes. The crust is done. You can see the edges just starting to get a little brown there. That's how you know it's done. We're gonna set this aside to cool, and we're gonna lower the oven temperature to 300 degrees. That's what the pie is gonna cook at. Now we're gonna work on the filling. Key component of the filling is coconut milk. This Thai Kitchen brand is the one we've had the most success with. We've tried a lot of them. This one is just the best. Like, I always look for this one in stores. The nice thing about it is it easily separates. We pop this in the freezer for 5 minutes before use, and now it's going to be solid, is going to be separated from the liquid. So we're only going to use the solid cream part of this. You can see the cream is all rising to the top. It's a saying for a reason. So we're just going to scoop out the cream. Then you can just pour the water out, actually.
That's what I told you to do.
Oh, Mega told me to do this. And the water is what contains most of the sugar. The cream is what contains most of the fat. So, you know, you're left with just cream. Okay, that's nice. You guys, get yourself some good spoons. Someone needs to stop going to the gym. And there you are left with just the cream from the coconut milk. Much lower carb, and it's really the delicious part of the whole thing. Then we're going to use a ½ cup of heavy cream. We're also going to use a ½ cup of powdered erythritol. Then we're going to do about 20 drops of stevia just to sweeten it up a little bit without using so much erythritol. I like to use a mixture of the two, stevia and erythritol, so 20 drops or so. Just kind of splash some in. I never really measure the stevia. But coconut cream pies are a sweet dessert. You want them to be pretty sweet. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We are going to take out the hand mixer to get this kind of incorporated together. There's a few more ingredients that still need to go in, but let's mix this together for now. Okay, we're going to add 2 eggs. Now, here's where things get tricky, guys. The amount of coconut flour you add to this is what's gonna make it more pudding-like or more of like a firmer cheesecake-like consistency. What we're gonna do is 3 tablespoons. You can probably get away with a little bit less, but I haven't tested that. I'm not sure if it will set right. So we're gonna do 3 tablespoons. That's been tried and tested. We're going to use half of the toasted coconut. We're gonna add it to the filling and save the rest for topping. You're just looking for a nice homogeneous mixture, and you are gonna wanna spray the edges a tad bit here. Last time it stuck on me a little bit. I'm just gonna use some coconut oil spray. Now we're just gonna pour the filling in. And there you have it. We're gonna put this in for 1 hour and 10 minutes at 300 degrees. So we'll see you back in a while. Okay guys, it has been exactly 70 minutes. Now you can see the consistency. It's pretty like soft and bubbly. We're gonna let this set now in the fridge for about an hour. We're gonna have it cool for about a half hour, put it in the fridge for 1 full hour. We are going to now make the topping. So the topping we're gonna do is incredibly simple. It's just whipped cream flavored with these remaining coconut flakes and sweetened with a little bit of stevia. So we need a half a cup of cream. And now we're just gonna whip this up into whipped cream. Now to sweeten the whipped cream, we're just gonna add some stevia to it. You can also add erythritol. I'm just gonna do like 20 or 30 drops, give it some good flavor. Then just mix that in briefly. Now we're gonna put this in the fridge with the pie, and then we still have these toasted coconuts that we're gonna top it with. We'll be back in about an hour to assemble everything and taste it. Time for the fun part. Now the coconut cream pie is here. It is definitely not fully set yet. I get impatient and you know, it's just what I do. So we're gonna ice it anyway, and then we're gonna put it back in the fridge for another hour before we cut into it, because this will just kind of fall apart if you cut into it now. For the icing, we got the whipped cream, and we're just gonna kind of scoop it on top there. Just spread it out a little bit. Now don't forget guys, the other half a cup of toasted coconut is here. Now we're gonna top the pie with this. Dump it on. Do as much or as little coconut as you like. I like a lot. You know what? That's a little excessive. We'll stop there. Yeah, I like to press it in just a little bit. And we're gonna put this back in the fridge for a good like hour or 90 minutes. It has to set before we cut into it. It is time, guys. The coconut cream pie has completely cooled. It's ready to slice into. You can see it's not like really the traditional coconut cream pie consistency. It's a little bit more cheesecake consistency, but the taste is just exquisite. Trying to use new words. Exquisite came to mind there. Okay, let's cut into this. There it is. Look at that. So it is time for the taste test. I'll try to show you the consistency here. You can see it's really nice and creamy. Crust is nice and crispy there. Incredible. Coconut in every single layer. It's exactly what you've been missing if you are a coconut cream pie lover. This is just incredibly good. Taste is immaculate. This is one of the best tasting desserts we've made. Definitely give this a try, guys. It's a little bit more complex than the recipes we normally do, but it's worth it. So comment below, let us know what you think. The entire recipe and description on how to do it is linked in the description of this video. Coconut cream pie.